Okay, this is a quick video about how if you talk to these beings, they'll give you all sorts of things. They'll answer you in many ways. But yeah, you can't get any experiences, or very little experiences, if you don't like nag them and talk to them. But of course I was still getting a lot of experiences back, a long time ago. I just didn't know what it was, and I wasn't asking for them. But I'm just saying, once you figure it out and you start talking to them and nagging them, they'll give you all sorts of experiences. But sometimes they are still very quiet for about a month, and you're thinking, what the hell, why are they not getting my message, man? But yeah, it's really weird. And sometimes if you start talking to them like 9 p.m. or whatever, sometimes they still don't give you an experience till noon, if you lay back down or whatever. So yeah, it's like there's a delay or something from this dimension to their dimension. So you got to keep nagging them. And it's harder for them to give you 3D experiences than out-of-body experiences. That's much easier for them. But they have a lot of ways of doing physical things too in 3D. Yeah, it's easier for them to do the out-of-body experiences and virtual reality experiences in the altered state of consciousness. But anyway, these experiences, I think I mentioned some of them in my other videos. But so around 2004 or 2005, like I was having all these alien encounters, and I kept thinking it was my spirit guide and her two black friends, Danley and Mabe. And I know what they look like. They show themselves to me. But now I'm wondering, I don't know. I believe my spirit guide is real. But who knows if Danley and Mabe are really real. Maybe the aliens were messing with my head. I don't know why that just went dim, dang it. Why did that go dim? So, yeah, like, Mabe is, like, kind of scruffy looking. And, no, Danley is scruffy looking and kind of hobo looking. But the other black guy, Mabe, is, like, white collar looking. And, like, when I talk to my spirit guide, like, Danley and Mabe will talk to me too or whatever. And Mabe is always saying that he's screwing around with his SUV. And I saw a glimpse of him screwing around with the back of his SUV one time. And still I wonder if it's just the aliens screwing with my head, and putting... my spirit guide I know is freaking real, man, but I just don't believe she's in the spirit realm. I don't believe she's a spirit. Although she looks like a spirit because she's ancient Egyptian. She doesn't look like a gray. She doesn't look like a reptilian. She looks like a freaking 50,000 million year old ancient Egyptian. Just like from the hieroglyphics. But I don't believe she's a spirit. So I believe she's real, but who knows if Danley and Mabe are really real. The aliens could be screwing with my head. I don't know. So I was having a lot of experiences back then, 2004, 2005. And I kept thinking it was my spirit guide and Danley and Mabe. So anyway, these beings, and I wasn't asking for these experiences. I was talking to what I thought was angels and spirit guides and stuff, but the aliens kept coming forward and answering my call. And so I was kind of unintentionally talking to the aliens, but I didn't know it. So anyway, yeah, and I was completely awake. I didn't go to bed till about 4 a.m., 5 a.m., or 6 a.m. back then. I laid down at 6 a.m. to go to bed permanently for the day. I laid down at 6 a.m. I closed my eyes. The next thing I know, I feel myself shrinking. And this isn't the first time I felt this either. I had another recent experience a couple years ago. but I felt myself like it was shrinking. And so that's why I felt weird. That's why I opened my eyes, and there's a freaking, well, see, I thought it was Mabe. I mean, not Mabe, Danley, because I know Danley is more hobo looking than Mabe. I thought it was Danley sitting on the left side of the corner of my bed. I always had my bed to the ground. I never had like headboards and stuff. So my bed was always really low to the ground. And he was sitting there at the side of the left side of my bed. And it felt like he weighed about 385 pounds. And I thought it was Danley. And he had a big old huge camping hobo backpack. It was even longer than that backpack on his back. He didn't show me his head or his face or anything. I just saw this being in I was totally in 3D. My brain and everything was in 3D. I was not in an altered state of consciousness. I was not even in a slightly groggy state. I was completely awake in 3D when this being manifested on my bed physically. And I know it was a reptilian now, but back then I thought it was Danley, the black guy, Danley and Mabe, the two black people that my ancient Egyptian spirit guide hangs out with. But my spirit guide is real, I have no doubt. She's a real entity. I just don't believe she's a spirit. I don't believe she's hanging out in the spirit realm. I believe she's in the reptilian realm. And I think she's friends with them. But, like I say, Danley and Mabe, the aliens could be screwing with my head. I don't know. I do believe the reptilians can come through on the Ouija board as well. And I think they do a lot. And people think they're talking to spirits, and they are not. They're talking to reptilians and aliens and other entities and stuff. A lot of entities don't even have names. There's billions and Googles and trillions of them, and not one look exactly alike. I've seen at least 1,000. Or more, well, more now probably. Yeah, and if you start talking to them, they'll start showing themselves to you. And most of the time, they won't give you experiences, because a lot of them, they don't really know how to give you experiences. But they will show their little faces and stuff at you. So yeah, so that was a reptilian being that manifested on my bed in 3D physically. And that was in 2005 or 2004. And he manifested completely physical. And what he was doing was he was drawing off my energy to manifest. That was obvious. Man, I was having so many freaking experiences. I mean, every single morning I was going out of body. And it's like, what the hell? I thought I was doing it on my own. But now I realize the aliens, and I was doing it on my own, but the aliens were, from a distance, activating me to do that. But I'll talk about that later. Okay, yeah, you'll feel yourself like shrinking when these beings try to if they're near you and if they try to manifest physically on your bed, believe you me, you will feel yourself like shrinking down to about the size of like 12 inches tall. And that's why I opened my eyes, because I started feeling weird, and the freaking entity was just sitting there on my bed, and it felt like he weighed 385 pounds. But now I know it was no freaking spirit. It was a reptilian. I know it was. And first of all, if a spirit is going to show themselves, they always show their face. Like, look, hello, my spirit guide freaking showed her full face, full body, and I'll draw her. She's freaking beautiful. But these freaking aliens, especially the reptilians, they freaking, and these black cape beings and shit, they always freaking, they never freaking show their face. Well, because some people think they're demons. They're not demons. They're just freaking ornery ass freaking entities. You know what I'm saying? If I was fucking around with humans, I'm not going to sit there and show my fucking face, to them. I'll be hiding it and shit too, Okay, so anyway, the second experience, and this is all inclusive, but the second experience, was in 2012, probably towards the end of 2012, when I was reading David Icke and everything, and I didn't know the reptilians had always been in my life at that time. I didn't know the aliens. I didn't know I was being physically abducted and shit yet either, in 2012. But I did start talking to them, but at that time I didn't realize they had always been creating all my out-of-body experiences and dreams and lucid dreams and remote views and virtual reality experiences. I didn't know they were creating all that for me. at that time, but I was talking to them just for, I can't remember what I said exactly, but I was just talking to them. I was just talking to them. I wasn't talking to them for out-of-body experiences and stuff because I didn't know that they had been, you know, till several months later, I didn't realize they had been giving me all of those, all my life and stuff. But I was talking to the Reptilians, but I can't remember what I was saying exactly to them. And they kept answering my calls. And this was in 2012 when I was listening to all those lectures on YouTube, the David Icke lectures. And so anyway, about 9 o'clock in the morning, 3 beings, not physically, 3 beings got in bed with me. And there's this woman called Peggy Kane, and she said that she's also had some Reptilians get in bed with her. But these beings were just very playful and ornery. They weren't mean or horny or sadistic or anything. But 3 beings did come forward to answer my call at 9 o'clock in the morning. And I was not completely, I was pretty damn awake, but I probably was still in a slightly groggy state. Slightly groggy state at about 9 in the morning. And like I say, this was towards the end of 2012. 3 reptilian beings got in bed with me, basically. And the woman on the left, I felt her energy very, very, very well. And she was about, she seemed, oh my God, she was like freaking 7 feet tall. I could just tell the way she morphed in my bed. It's like she seemed like she was 7 feet long. But she did not completely manifest as physical, but pretty damn physical. About 65% physical, 35% energetic or whatever. But yeah, and it felt real fluidy, you know, when they got in the bed, like real fluidy. I can't explain it, but yeah, she didn't manifest completely 100% physical, but pretty damn physical. And she was on my left. She was a female reptilian. She totally felt reptilian. She felt very ornery and playful and benevolent, but just kind of honored. And she felt very androgynous. She did not feel like, you know what I'm saying? She didn't feel very, like, really, really, really feminine, like my spirit guide. This reptilian female felt very androgynous, but she was female. So the being on my right was male. But for some reason, I guess I couldn't just pay attention to both energies. But he was definitely male, the one that also kind of fluidity morphed in my bed. Somewhat physical, somewhat energetic, to my right side of my bed. So I couldn't tell. I know he was male, but I couldn't really tell how tall he was and stuff. And none of the beings showed their faces to me. Okay, so that was just 3 beings that got in bed with me. I said 4 of them because I'm talking about the one in 2005 and then the 3 in 2012. So there was the male on my right, the female on my left, and they didn't try to do anything sexual or anything like that. I could just tell they were just playing with me and being ornery. Okay, the being on top of me, he didn't actually get on top of me. What the deal was, after the 2 beings got in bed with me, the one on the left, the one on the right, the one on the top, like, I tried to, like, I knew they were, like, in my bed, and I still had my eyes closed, and I tried to open my eyes, and it's like, I can't remember if I even opened them or not. I think I did open them. And the 3rd being, like, shot down at me like a big old freaking dollar, silver bright. It was brighter than silver. It was brighter than a silver dollar. Came shooting down at me right when I tried to open my eyes. Like, he wouldn't let me see anything. He was like, bam! Shot down at my eyeballs, shooting like silver. It was like a silver eyeball. You know what I'm saying? Because they have all these skills to do what they want to you. But yeah, that was a reptilian being screwing with me. But none of them showed me their face. But the being on the left, I felt her very, very, very well. Her energy. But yeah, so the being on the top, he was just jacking with me. Like, I tried to open my eyes, and it's like, I couldn't even hardly open them, or maybe I did open them, but I did open them, but he totally blocked me by shooting this like boom, this silver freaking eyeball at me, his silver eyeball, like as big as a silver dollar, shooting down at me just like bam. He was screwing with me. But anyway, it was kind of fun. Another incident, around 2014, another incident, I was talking to them, and I can't remember what the hell I was saying either. I can't remember what I was asking them or anything, and this was around 2014, and I had my bed at the other side of the wall, and I was like dead sleeping, and something about Nordics, and I can't remember what the hell I was asking them, but like, so, at 3 o'clock in the morning, I was sleeping dead to the world, I mean, in a deep sleep. And it doesn't matter. They can wake your ass up regardless. This being, and I know it was a reptilian being, just like, it was like, blah! Just woke me flat out of bed, man. Just woke me up, just bam. And I wasn't even startled or anything. And this was like 3 a.m. I wasn't startled or anything because I was sleeping so damn hard. He wasn't even able to like startle my heart or anything like that. It was so weird. But he was able, I mean, to just bam, wake me up out of a hard, deep sleep. And I was just like, what? And like I say, because I was in such a deep sleep, my heart wasn't even racing or anything. Because I was in such a deep sleep, but he was still able to just wake me up, boom. But what he did was he flashed himself, he morphed himself into a Nordic looking being, just a brief second, like blah. But I know I was mentioning something about the Nordics or something, and they know I don't really like the Nordics. I don't know. I mean, I don't dislike them, but I don't know. I just don't. If you're an alien, why would you want to look human? You know what I mean? But anyway, they know I'm not really fond of the Nordics, and he just like woke me up out of a hard, deep sleep and was like blah. And he morphed his face into a Nordic, a brief second, a Nordic. But I knew he wasn't a Nordic. I knew he was a reptilian.